because of the next verse. The next verse says, "Vayasev Elohim et ha'am derech hamidbar Yam Suf vechamushim alu bnei Yisrael me'eretz Mitzrayim." So God turned the people towards the way of the desert, towards the Sea of Reeds. And it says that chamushim went into towards the direction of Israel from Egypt. What's chamushim? Chamushim, the literal meaning means weapons. It means that they came with weapons. But Chazal says it doesn't mean weapons, really. What it means is that it was 1 out of 5 Jews that were in Egypt actually came out. Only 20% of the Jews that were in Egypt survived. 80% died. Hashem killed 80% of the Jews during the darkness plague, Choshech. Lama, why did he kill them? Because they didn't want to do tshuva. They didn't want to leave Egypt. They didn't want to go to the desert. They didn't have emunah. They didn't want to keep the mitzvot. Hashem said, you don't want to keep mitzvot. There's no purpose for you. You don't want to get the Torah? Fine, you're just like the goyim. I don't need you.
So 20% out of many.
20% out of 80%, that's the basic meaning. Actually, some people say, some of the sages say, that's even less than 20%.
No,
Instead of
numbers,
what was it? Numbers, I mean, it was millions. The smallest number, I would say, is probably maybe 12 million came out.
Which is
12 million
20%.
came out, which is 20%. Yeah, so we had a lot more Jews back then. A lot more Jews back then. My cousin and I, my Rabbi Ephraim Kachlon, we did the math one time. We tried doing the math of how many Jews existed not only in Egypt but also in Bet HaMikdash. Why the math? Because in Egypt we learned last week's Parashá, or 2 weeks ago, that Hashem made a miracle where every time a woman would give birth, it would be 6 babies. Every time it would be 6 babies. Because he wanted to make us a big nation. So every birth, every time, 9 months, 6 kids come out.
Really?
Every time, 6 times. And that's why the Egyptians were only killing the boys. They weren't killing the girls. Lama, they're not killing the girls? Because they want the girls to go with the Egyptians so they can make the Egyptians a big nation. Every pregnancy is 6 babies. We want to have 6 babies. Smart. So Hashem made a miracle where every time a woman would get pregnant, she would deliver 6 babies. So now she's not only getting pregnant one time, like today they're scared to ruin their body or something like that. You're pregnant every couple of years. You get pregnant every time it's 6 kids. So the average family would have 50, 60 kids.
Wow. That's a lot.
So we did the math one time and the number is very, very, very big. It doesn't even sound realistic. It's more people than we have in the world today, total, not just Jews.
Of Jews. Oh, total.
Total. It's a huge, huge number. So as far as the smallest number, it's probably talking about anywhere from 10, 12 million actually came out of Egypt, which means that there was somewhere around 50 to 60 million Jews. So which means that they're sad right now because 40 million Jews died just, a month or 2 before they left Egypt. Why? Because they didn't want to do tshuva.
And how many Egyptians were there?
Egyptians, there was also a lot. Not as many as the Jews, but there was also a lot.
So there were more Jews than Egyptians?
Yes.
Okay.
There was more Jews than Egyptians. So now, why do I say this? Why is it important to know that only 1 out of 5 Jews came out? Or maybe 1 out of 500? Because today, when we tell people, listen, you need to do tshuva, you need to keep mitzvot, you need to do tefillin, you need to do this, you need to do this, you tell me, listen, 75% of all of the Jews in the world don't keep anything. They don't keep, They don't keep mitzvot, they don't keep Shabat, they don't keep anything. So if the Mashiach comes, you're telling me that Hashem is going to kill 75% of them? No way. Why? He brought us to this world to kill us? This is a very, very big misunderstanding that people have. People, for some reason, think that Hashem needs us. He does not need us. He's perfect with or without us. The world was only created so we can benefit, not for him to benefit. He's already perfect. If we exist, we don't exist, he's perfect. He only did it because he's good. So when you're good, you want to create good. You want to bring more good. Someone that's a good person, what does he want to do? He doesn't want to just get from people. He wants to give somebody good. That's how you know if somebody's good.
Okay.
So Hashem is good. So he wanted to create good. He wanted to share the good with something else. So he created mankind. And within mankind, he chose the Jews to be the chosen people. So he's the king and we're the prince. Now, if I'm a prince, and I go to the king and I say, Abba, you know what? Thank you for providing for me my whole life. Thank you for making me, a nice house and everything else. But I don't feel like being a prince anymore. I'm going to go hang out with my friends on the beach and be a surfer. Do you think the king is going to say, oh yeah, go ahead, go be a surfer, do what you want, be you? No. Can't be a surfer. Why? Because you're a prince. You're the next in line to be even bigger. You're chosen. You're different from everybody else. You can't walk around with shorts and a tank top. You're a prince. That's what Hashem is telling us. He's telling us, you don't have a choice. If I made you a Jew, your choice is either to be a good Jew or a bad Jew. But it is a choice. There's a consequence for each one.
I
Either
have
a
a
reward or
question.
punishment. Good.
Does Hashem have any different world? I don't know, how is it? Goes? I don't know, how is it? What kind of form is that? But does he have maybe another world in control of? Maybe,
Before he
maybe if it says it on the Bible.
before he created this world, the mystical part of the Torah says that before he created this world,
Okay.
there were 6 other worlds.
Word.
This is the last one. There's 6 other worlds before this one. This is the last one.
Now they're destroyed.
Yeah, they're gone. They're finished. This is the last one. And after the Mashiach comes, there's going to be some more time left in this world. And then after that, all of the worlds will be destroyed, and we all go to a different world. Olam haba.
Wow.
But again, here you have a situation where people think that, listen, if the Mashiach comes, you can't do tshuva anymore. Mashiach shows up tomorrow, BeEzrat HaShem. It's a problem for a lot of people. Why? Because they didn't do tshuva. They can't do tshuva anymore. Run out of time. Someone wants to convert from a different religion to Judaism. They can't do it anymore. Why? Because Mashiach is already here. You could only do it before the Mashiach comes. You could only do tshuva before the Mashiach comes. You could only convert before the Mashiach comes.
Okay, and what happens to all the other people did not convert? So what happens to all the other Jewish did not convert?
People that are Jewish and did not do tshuva, they have a serious problem.
But what? They're gonna die in the same moment when the Mashiach comes, or they gonna keep live on this world?
It's a different type of shiur, but I'll tell you in so many words, there's a few things that are going to happen during a day. Gog Magog, 2/3, 66% of the world dies instantly. The Arizal says that in 9 minutes, 66% of the world dies. So that leaves only 1/3 left. Out of the 1/3, not everybody survives. Some of them survive, some of them don't survive. But in so many words, not everybody survives. If someone is righteous, if someone is doing the best they really can, not the best they want to, the best they really can to do the mitzvot that Hashem said, at least keep the minimum requirement, then they should be fine. But if someone is not keeping the basics, he's still eating chazir, he's still driving on Shabbat, he's still smoking cigarettes on Shabbat, he's still married to a non-Jew, he's still doing all of these things, he should pray, he should read Tehillim every day that the Mashiach doesn't come. So